Despite the fact that Australia is home to all manner of beasts that are trying to kill you, camping is an incredibly popular way to spend your time. It's probably also got something to do with the fact that flying in and out of Australia is incredibly expensive. Thank you, airline monopoly. But if you're thinking of moving to Australia, or you're currently here and you're still being a sook and not getting outside, here are 12 reasons why camping could be the new best thing for you and your family. Now, when I lived in the UK, I have to admit, I didn't really spend as much time as I'd liked in the great outdoors. Probably got something to do with the weather. But when you move to Australia, in order to make it feel like you're fully settling into your new home, you're going to want to reconnect with nature. Or if you've never really been out, connect with nature. Camping allows you to fully immerse yourself into Australia's natural beauty. I mean, unless you go to like a big four on the Gold Coast, which is also fun. But whether you're going to a lovely inland retreat or some kind of beach-fronted wonder, this natural view of nature is going to help you to escape the urban grind. I guess even if you did go to one of those camping sites that does have all of the amenities for you, you're not really going to have to travel too far to be able to appreciate some of Australia's natural beauty. Whether you want to reconnect for just an hour or spend most of your time being eaten alive by mosquitoes, and don't forget the flies. When you get it just about right, reconnecting with nature really is quite good for your soul. Because don't we all live in a world now where we just find it difficult to be able to unplug and relax? Australia just gets camping. And no, you don't have to live in some kind of off-grid nightmare. Sometimes being without emails, social media, or just some form of phone connection at all, I literally mean signal. Sometimes you go to places and there is no signal at all. Sometimes this tranquility can lead to some peaceful moments that are going to allow you to relax. Sometimes we just need to be without a distraction. Have you ever been on a holiday, arguably to somewhere really, really nice, but there's just too much stuff to do, and when you get back you don't really feel like you've relaxed at all? Especially if you're going away with friends or family, you don't ever feel like you've had the opportunity to reconnect. Some of the best family bonding time that we've had in Australia has come from camping. Being without electronic distractions or any kind of distractions at all, and just telling your kids to go off and play in a field. Use some creativity, explore with your imagination, but just watch out for cars and snakes and spiders. Just be careful. But I hope that some of my kids' fondest memories come from camping. Cooking with a campfire, looking at the stars, and hopefully being able to spend some time with me when I'm not forcibly distracted by something else. Because realistically nowadays, how easy is it for kids to learn about nature? Sure, they probably learn about it in school, but I don't know about you, I've done some of my best learning through experience. Camping provides a fantastic opportunity for kids to really learn about nature. What plants not to touch, seeing new wildlife that you've never seen before. So why not let camping turn into an opportunity for an outdoor education? There is only so much you can learn in a room in front of a screen. Just let your kids go out there and live it. Because in my opinion, there is nothing more exciting as a whinging pom who's new to Australia in sitting there trying to spot new wildlife. I still feel like a tourist every time I see a kangaroo or a kookaburra. I mean, let's face it, kookaburras aren't exactly the prettiest of animals, but their laugh is pretty spectacular. Rainbow lorikeets? That's a pretty bird. Still yet to see a koala camping, or even a platypus. But despite what people say in the sense of the only wildlife you're going to spot, Ross, when you're camping is something that's trying to kill you, aside from the odd water dragon or goanna that makes me shit myself when I see it rustling through the bushes, touch wood, I'm yet to see anything particularly dangerous, or even being swooped by some kind of maniacal aerial dive bomber. Maybe I've just been lucky. But to be honest, my favourite thing about camping is the freedom and flexibility that it can afford. Now don't get me wrong, this does depend on particularly where you go, what time of year you're booking. I mean, there's not going to be much freedom and flexibility if you're trying to camp at Sandstone Point during the summer holidays. But rather than staying in some kind of luxurious resort-style hotel, camping lets you create your own adventure. And once you've got all of the kit, Australia really is your oyster. Because if you want to, you can stay at one of those popular campsites with all of the mod cons. And it'll probably be a little bit cheaper than a luxurious resort. Or are you one of those people, a little bit like me, that likes to go a little bit more off the beaten path? Escape the crowds. Go off grid and go around some of the more touristy spots and try and experience the real Australia. Now, there is something special about cooking outdoors, especially over a campfire. And in my opinion, there is nothing that's going to test your culinary creativity than campfire cooking. You don't have to be Gordon Ramsay in order to appreciate what it's like to cook outdoors. But I guess if you burn some stuff, you're going to end up swearing a little bit. Whether it's just some burgers or snags, or perhaps something a little bit more elaborate, or even teaching your kids how not to burn the roof of their mouth when roasting marshmallows. Why does cooking when you're camping just taste better? Now that's a really genuine question. Can someone tell me why? I don't know about you, but life today seems pretty hectic. I don't know how many times I have to do it in a day, but it feels like I'm constantly making choices. Sometimes living with just the bare essentials for a few days makes you really appreciate just the simple things. Sure, I've got a pop-top camper with an inbuilt fridge. Some caravan setups I've seen look like mini hotels. But sometimes all you need are the basic things, like somewhere to sleep, somewhere to cook, and somewhere to put your cold beers. The more capable you are of keeping camping simple, in my opinion, the more fun you're going to have. Now, I'm sure that wherever you live or wherever you're coming from to Australia, you're thinking to yourself, Ross, I already camp while I'm there. My country's beautiful for camping, and there are lots of places in the world that really are good for camping. But if you'd rather wake up in some of these beautiful locations rather than just dreaming about it, and being able to live here rather than just do it while you're a tourist, then a visa is probably the way that you're going to have to go. Speak to our mates True Blue Migration Services, and for free you'll be able to find out exactly what you need to do to realise your camping dream. Find out for free when you mention us on their visa assessment tool exactly what you need to do to be able to move here. And when you decide that it's probably a good idea to let them help you get your visa as well, because you mentioned us, you're going to save $200, which is going to get you a decent swag, maybe even a new camping light. I mean, it's probably not going to get you the whole setup, but it's going to get you a good start. Don't forget the beers. To be honest, I don't know why more of the hundreds of reviews on Google about True Blue Migration Services aren't more about how people have enjoyed their camping experience while they've moved here. They just say stuff about how wonderful the service was or how much they've changed their life. And when you do finally get here and you're on your first camping trip, make sure to find us on Instagram at @ThatJohnstonLife and send us your best picture of you embracing the camping culture of Australia. Well, camping's going to bloody change your life as well, mate. Because if you're struggling to make new friends and you don't really know what to do when you have made some, why not go camping? Because nothing beats the connection that you're going to make with sitting around a campfire with new friends and chatting about random shit under the stars. Add in your favourite refreshment and you've nearly got yourself a party. And once you're finished, all you have to do is stumble back to wherever you're sleeping, roll up into your sleeping solution, and enjoy the peaceful mating calls of random Australian wildlife. You never know, you might actually make some new friends while you're out camping. I've talked before about how friendly Australian people are, particularly those in rural settings, but sometimes it can go a whole new level with other campers. Talk about what camping setups you've got. Compare each other's horror stories of camping. Although this does come with a caveat, because sometimes I find that campers in Australia can be a little bit like Vegemite. Either they're the most friendly people in the world and always want to chat to you, or they just want to keep to themselves. You'll know it when you see them, just don't bother going over to them. Are you a beach bum? Well, in Australia, it seems like sometimes if you want to go and have a beach experience, it can kind of cost a premium. Particularly if you want to stay there long term or have some kind of holiday or vacation. But beach camping gives you all of the access to your swimming and surfing and other maritime activities, often without the heavy price tag. Want to know what it feels like to wake up to the ocean waves but can't afford a house near a beach? Just go camping there, mate. In Australia, it's pretty common for people to drive up onto the beach and go camping. Just don't park too close to the water and watch the tide times. Otherwise, you're going to end up spending a lot more than a luxury beach holiday. And while you're there, why not enjoy the sunrise or the sunset? I mean, sometimes whether you're on the east or the west coast of Australia, watching both at the same time can sometimes be a bit difficult, especially if you want to do it over the water. But if you're the type of person like me that just likes to stare and look at a campfire, then why not look at the massive ball of burning gas in the sky and stare at that too? I mean, not like directly stare at it, that's still bad if it's sunrise or sunset, but it's relaxing. Sure, everyone in Australia can appreciate a good sunrise or sunset, but for some reason it just feels better sitting in some kind of fold-out chair while you're in a bit of nature. Now, before you get on to me, Ross, how much does all of this cost? The beauty of camping is sometimes you can just set your own bar. However much money you've got, you can find that camping is pretty affordable for you. And I also think that camping gear in Australia is a lot cheaper than other places in the world. There is one problem though. Whatever gear you've got when you go camping, when you finish, you are going to find that you're going to spend a little bit more money. That's because through the experience you found that there is probably something that's missing from your camping setup. I've even had to set myself a limit of every time I go camping, I'm only allowed to buy one more thing just to improve the experience. And pretty soon over time you build up a wonderful collection of random crap that allows you to feel more at home when you're not at home but in a field. Pretty much everyone starts off in a tent or a swag. Then you might get a trailer, progress one day to a camper, and then go full circle by basically bringing your home along with you on wheels. Whatever your setup, no one really looks down on you. You might even decide to put your tent on the roof of your car. And to be honest, each different setup have their own pros and cons. After you've done it a few times, you're going to find out what works best for you. You're going to find out what sites you prefer, how much you tolerate getting sand off of everything, But there's one thing for sure, that every time you go, you're going to be creating lifelong memories. Whether it's the thrill of a campfire, exploring new landscapes, or just the opportunity to spend time together, camping creates memory that you, your friends, and your family are going to cherish forever. Do it while you're young. Do it while it still doesn't wreck your back to bend down and get into a swag. Because when I get older, I don't want my kids to have the memories of me never really doing anything with them. I don't want my kids to have the memories of never really being out of their comfort zone. I'd much rather be a person that's able to rough it for a few days in the fields than a person that's only ever spent their time in 5-star resorts. So why not get out there and experience the real Australia, mate? And send us a photo while you're there. And if you don't like camping or you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Probably someone's going to have a go at you and tell you that you're un-Australian. And if you've enjoyed my musings as a British person living in Australia for the last 4 years, and for some reason you want to see what my opinion on other stuff in Australia is like, then watch that video. See you there.